Hello and welcome everybody to the LunaHolistic podcast, the Lightworker Global Call to Action series. I am so glad you are here. I'm really happy to finish off the season of the podcast, the very first season of the podcast, with my favorite topic, which is why we love Reiki, because all of the people here at Luna Holistic really, really love Reiki and have had it be a really magical thing that's profoundly changed our lives. And so we'll share a little bit about that with you. Before we jump into our content, I want to send a profound thank you and gratitude to the Indigenous peoples of the world, including the Treaty 7 peoples of Calgary and area. And I'm just so glad that you are all here. Thank you. And yes, I have some helpers on the line today. So I have Natalia Radovanovic. She's a Reiki master here in Calgary at Luna. And say hi, Natalia.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for being here, Natalia. Yeah, and I have Bia Bootsma as well. She's a Reiki master here. Say hi, Bia.
Hello.
It's
Thanks for doing this, Geneva. This is really awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being here and supporting the people live and sharing all of you sharing your insight. And I have Danielle Graham. She's also a Reiki master here with us at Luna Holistic. Say hi, Danielle.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to be here with you all.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's nice to have a nice cozy group here today. So we'll get lots of stories about how amazing Reiki has been in our lives, and I'd love to hear from you. So if you're joining live, you can type that into the chat, any of your experiences as we go along with any of the meditations. And if you're joining later, you can add a comment in the comment section, and I'd be happy to hear. I'm really always fascinated with what you experience, what people experience in meditations. And I always tell people in my Reiki classes, I learn more about Reiki by hearing other people's experiences of it, because it's a non-local energy that exists in all things, and we all experience it in different ways. And so when we have meditations and Reiki sessions, everybody has a different experience, and it's very beautiful. And it's sort of a thing that's hard to put words to sometimes because it is so deep and profound. It's the energy of the universe that we channel through us, and we can direct it with the tools that you learn in Reiki classes here at Luna Holistic and other places. And when you channel that energy and direct it to a positive purpose, you get such huge, profound shifts and leaps in your well-being. And I find it's just sometimes it's so big what can happen for people. The expansion spiritually in people's lives, the clearing that they feel within them, the sense of peace and connection and grounding that they achieve within themselves. It's really, really massive. I find sometimes I will struggle with things in my mind, and I'll turn them over and over and over again. And then I sit down and I put my hands together in Reiki, what we call gasho, the meditation position, with your hands in prayer position at your heart. And 5 minutes later, I have the answer. I can struggle for so long, but as soon as I just sit and I am centered and I let the energy flow through me, the answers to all of those things arrive and they just sort of pop in. We'll talk a lot more about Reiki and hear from you and our panelists today about Reiki experiences. But first, we'll jump into a little meditation. This one's from my book, The Secret Art of Happiness. It's in the chapter 10, the Divine Connection chapter. So this is a meditation to expand your divine light. And so you can just get settled and cozy and gently close your eyes and we'll begin this first meditation. So take a moment to connect to the flow of energy all around you. Breathe deeply and tune in to the earth below your feet. Let the energy in the earth and the energy in your own body balance out. Let it reach its own stable, natural equilibrium. Just easily with your breath. Get out of the way and let more energy in. Let the earth help you now. Now gently turn your awareness to the energy available to you just above your head. See or feel the divine light waiting for you just above your crown. Notice the beautiful color. Notice the pure love just for you. Now breathe this energy in through the top of your head, through your crown chakra, all the way through and down to your belly. Let the energy fill up the energetic core of your body. Place your hands just below your belly button, right on the energetic and physical center of your body. With each breath in, divine light flows through your crown and down through your body and comes to fill and swirl within your belly, right behind your hands. The energy flows in easily with zero effort. Just like a waterfall, you need not push it to go faster. You only have to open up and allow. See if you can let in just a little bit more, even more. Let it all in now. Keep breathing in this way until you're able to feel the energy below your hands fill all the way up. When you're fully charged, your hands will lift easily from your belly. If you need more energy, your hands will feel heavy or comfortable where they are. You can even visualize a gauge or a dial that fills up, just like the gas tank on your car. Wait it until you're at 100%. Filling all the way up with divine love and light. And you can bring your hands, palms together in prayer position in front of your heart in Gasho. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and you can bring your hands down your legs, just connecting back into the earth, just smoothing the energy down your legs, feeling that connection below you. And then with your hands facing your body, just smoothing off that energy field all around you. Just that energetic bubble, your aura is an energy field that surrounds you. And when our auras are clear, we feel contained and content and calm. So just really brushing that energy around you and then giving the edges of your bubble a little pat to seal them in divine love, light, and wisdom. There you go. Well, thank you so much for that meditation. And yeah, I'm really fascinated to see what you or hear what you experienced. You can type that into the chat or the comments. For me, it was really interesting. So there's an energy center in your belly that we use in Reiki, and that energy center is called the Tanden, and it's in the physical and energetic sort of center of the body. It's sort of your reservoir or your own personal battery. And when we fill up with Reiki energy or sort of connect to the energy that's all around us, we fill our battery up. And that energy, your own personal key, which is universal life force energy, your own personal energy sustains you throughout the day. So you can have, it's what makes us feel like we've got a little bit of resilience, so we can handle the ups and downs and the bumps of life our tanden, or that energy center in the belly, is full. And you can visualize it filling up, just like in that meditation, like a gas tank, or like when you plug in your phone. We with technology, we're very aware of how we need to plug it in every night. You have to get a full charge. And so for me, one of the gifts of Reiki is being able to charge up, and it gives me this very stable energy, and it helps me feel connected and secure and in the flow of life, because it is the flow of life. That's what I find with Reiki. I just really loved that that meditation. I could really feel like my fuel tank going up, and that felt really, really great. So but yeah, I'm wondering, Natalia, how did that go for you?
Oh, that was so lovely. Thank you, Geneva, for that meditation. I haven't done like a tanden recharge in a long time, or a little bit here. So that felt really, really nice. I feel like my hands are just like tingly and almost burny, but not like a good kind of sense of burny, and just felt so recharged. And I even feel like really light right now. So it's so nice. And it's just, the power of meditation is just so huge and never ceases to amaze me. So yeah, I had the same visual of a gas tank, and kind of felt like I was feeling pretty good, but it felt like I was kind of like just under half a tank. And so kind of like kicked it up the rest of the way. So that was lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. It's that that sensation in your hands, that's the energy flowing. So if you experience that, sometimes you'll feel your hands heating up in a meditation, or buzzing or tingling, and that's Reiki flowing, because Reiki flows in through the crown, and then it flows out of your hands, and we can direct it basically through our palm chakras, our energy centers in our hands, to ourselves when we do Reiki self-healing, or to others if you're helping others. And it's so nice to just sort of get that boost up as we go through. So, and definitely there's a lot of things that are quite depleting and exhausting happening in the world right now. So the topping up, I find, is almost a continual process. But yeah, thank you. And Bia, what did you experience in that meditation?
Yeah, I also found that just like very calming. I always love after like a really relaxing meditation when I open my eyes and everything's just like clear and bright and super vivid all of a sudden. It's like my inner clarity just starts to shine out into how I view things. So yeah, that was really lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And anytime you want to share your experiences, you can type that in the chat or the comments. We're happy to hear from you. Yes, I love Reiki so very much for the experiences that everybody shared here, is that I just can't get over, even though I've been doing Reiki for quite some time now, for about 15 years, and I can't get over how quickly things can shift, and how profoundly our stories, like how profoundly our the things that we're working through, the things that we are moving through, can shift with just a very short Reiki session. Reiki is the energy of the divine, and when it flows through us, it's energy, but it's also information. And so I find it helps open up your intuitive centers and helps you to understand and interpret that information that's in the universe all around us. So all of the information of the universe is encoded within this universal life force energy field. And when we tap into that energy, it's a skill that you get better at. You kind of become like an antenna, and you are able over time to boost up your natural intuitive skills and expand basically that vocabulary and that dialogue with the divine, with the beings of light that are all around us, our angels and guides and helpers, and to connect into your own intuitive sense. And I find that is so huge, because most of the time people are very, very intuitive, but sometimes it's muffled with the inner critic or the ego that's chatting at us and telling us how terrible we are and how bad we are. And to have an inner critic and ego, that's totally fine. Everybody has one. And then you do the spiritual work to calm that that chatty mind that is distracting us or pulling us off course or saying mean things about us. And part of the process of Reiki and learning Reiki is developing and cultivating this inner sense of love and these skills and tools inside yourself that is in harmony with what the universe thinks about you, which is just pure love, just pure compassion, completely unconditional acceptance is what the universe has to offer us. And the more we do our own inner healing, the more energy that's available to us, and the more we are able to not only shift things in our own lives, but then to help other people as well. It's really, really amazing, and it's definitely shifted everything in my life. When I learned Reiki, it was like a giant piece of the puzzle just clicked into place for me, and I just it just really helped me in such a profound way to go from feeling lost and alone to feeling connected and purposeful and guided, and to really, and it became something that was my own spiritual practice, and it became something that I realized is my purpose in life, is to help people awaken to their own gifts and their own light, and to heal deeply from the inside out, which is what Reiki does. And when I do Reiki sessions with other people, I'm just really helping people with their own self-healing journey. The light is already inside you, and Reiki just helps connect you to that light that's inside you, which, when you can tap into it, can heal everything, in my opinion, or it can really help. I don't want to make outlandish claims, but for me, it is such a big piece of my own self-care and what has helped me. So, yeah. And yes, thank you, Shauna. She's just says, so needed this today. I've had a very hard day, energy depleted by long days and no rest, and it's quite a hard day. And so with filling up with divine energy, I became very emotional and I was able to let go. I'm so glad. Yeah, it is definitely, it can help with kind of wash away the trials and tribulations of the day and just really clear a lot of stuff. So I'm glad you're here too. Thank you for being here. Sure. Let's go with Pia. What is your what's your experience with Reiki? How has it helped you?
Yeah, I was trying to kind of reflect on this earlier, and it's so weird because I can't even really like imagine not having Reiki anymore. It's just such a like key part of my life. But the main things that I kind of thought of were Reiki makes like growing less overwhelming. I think there's like an aspect to growth and change that's really daunting and challenging, but like the way I kind of see it is like life is kind of challenging no matter what, and Reiki just kind of brings out this like ability to kind of work with that and make it like the challenges work with us so that we can have more and more beautiful experiences. And I know you kind of touched on this too. It's just like that, like the beauty of having a spiritual connection. I think like most people grow up not really having the influence of what a spiritual connection is. And for me, like I didn't really even know that was like a real aspect of life. I didn't know it was so important, but I think that like the feeling of being spiritually connected is like so important to me, and just feeling that magic of developing intuition and developing a spiritual connection has been like the most exciting and magical experience that I've ever had. And yeah, like you said, it's just like the joy of like letting myself grow, but then like watching that help other people just through like working on myself, helping other people through doing that. So
Yeah.
it's very beautiful to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. It does, you know, the with the growth and change is that, yeah, life is all about change, and especially right now with things being so intense for all of us in different ways. It's just that intensity that's in the world can really put a lot of pressure on the cracks with, you know, the things that need to change and the things that we need to grow. It's sort of like putting pressure on the thorn, and um, I you know, of the things that we need to shift and clear. And I experienced that too, Bia, of just that. um, Reiki helps ride you through those waves. So instead of struggling and it taking so long to make that transformation, it really can lift you through it, so that it sort of decreases the turbulence a little bit of all of those things. And yeah, and it's as a tool for spiritual expansion, which people don't always realize that it, as when you learn Reiki, most of the people who learn Reiki from us here at LunaHolistic, they I would say the majority of people are taking Reiki for their own spiritual expansion and growth. And that is a huge part of what Reiki can do, is you're basically, it's a way of connecting in to the divine light that's all around us. And when you learn to do it, it flows through you in greater and greater levels. And it just brings just this really elegant but gentle and powerful at the same time growth and transformation. It's just absolutely wonderful. And yeah, we have from Danielle. Danielle is a panelist tonight, but she has a little bit of a shaky internet connection. So I'll just read her comment. Reiki has been a massive part of my personal transformation. As a sensitive empath, I have learned how to ground and bring myself into the present moment, as well as protect myself from taking on too much energy from other people. I use Reiki on a daily basis in different ways. It helps me to let go of things that are no longer serving me, reducing my stress level. it assists me in manifesting my dreams and even helps me find objects that I happen to misplace. Well, that's really cool. I love that. I love that. I do that too. Um, but I always am delighted when other people do these things also. So yeah, it really can do so much. And I agree like that. I didn't realize I was such a sensitive person. I knew I was physically sensitive, growing up with asthma and being really sensitive to a lot of chemicals and dogs and cats and having to be very careful with a lot of things. I thought it was just physically sensitive, but then as I learned, I'm like, oh, I'm energetically sensitive. Like I can feel other people's feelings. And at first that just felt like, oh my gosh, how can I just turn that off? I realized you can't turn off your intuitive gifts, and you really don't want to. But what Reiki does is it gives you tools to stay in that, to hang on to your gifts and your tools, your ability to feel and sense energy all around you. But it allows you to do that in a very grounded, safe, and protected way, and it gives you tools to clear off any energies that you might pick up from the world around you. When you are highly intuitive and highly sensitive, you can really feel deeply into all of the things that are happening. And yeah, I find Reiki helps me stay in that intuitive sensing place, but then also to stay very, very clear, very grounded, and able to discern what's my feeling and what somebody else is feeling, and then just staying within my own bubble and my own feelings is usually when we feel the way we can feel the best, and it also helps other people feel the best. So yeah, that's amazing. So thank you. Clearing the aura has been, and grounding has been the two key skills and tools that has really, really helped me through this, like the energy that's been happening through all of this COVID-19 stuff, and just the collective energy of lots of people having lots of thoughts and feelings about all of the things. And especially at the beginning with it being so intense, I found just being able to ground and visualize that rainbow aura all around you, those things really, really helped me to manage and filter out sort of the energy of the collective. It's like being in a strong current or a strong wind, and Reiki is sort of like this blanket or this tent of energy around you that can make you feel really secure and stable. Even though the winds may be howling outside, you can still feel cozy energetically in your own bubble and in your own energy field. So it's been invaluable for sensitive types. So, and that's something you can learn. It's something that anybody can learn, which is really also just blows my mind about with Reiki, is that you don't have to start out being a super sensitive, intuitive person. Just learning the process of Reiki makes you better at that, which is just wonderful. So thank you. And Natalia, I'd love to hear, how has Reiki impacted you or helped you? What's your experience?
Yeah, definitely like what you guys have all mentioned too. I think it's just helped me connect more to me and make that connection of like greater than me to like the universe and the universal life force energy, and definitely has opened up my intuition a lot. A little bit kind of like you said, I've always had not super intuitive abilities, but I kind of always could feel like I could read somebody, or generally read kind of the emotions in the room, and to kind of like come to learn about all of that and what that really means and how to really use it. And I just think it's been amazing. It's been a huge life changer for me. Personally, like, I know we've definitely had this conversation before many a times, but I think, you know, Reiki is clearly and definitely for everybody, but I think like in my case, it definitely found me. Like I've said, like to this day, I still don't remember what or why or what I was really looking for. I mean, I knew I was looking for Reiki and the energy stuff, but it kind of, you know, one thing led to another, and I ended up in the lap of Reiki and all things energy and LunaHolistic, and that really resonated with me, and I just felt like I needed to do it, and I kind of signed up, and I found out about all this stuff, and the main thing for me was just how much all like the different chakras and the different energy centers and what they control in our body and how it's all connected was just so mind-blowing. And then putting that into like practical theory and practice was just mind-blowing, and it really helped me heal and grow through some big transformative moments and cycles and all the things in my life where like you said, by like, you know, level 3 or something like that, right? You maybe come back to that same situation, but it's like a different layer you're peeling off, and you have like all these tools. I feel like the grounding and the meditations and the clearing and just the self Reiki daily it's just huge. It's just, you're a different person when you kind of open up to the energy that Reiki can give you. And even from just like working with the clients, like in this day and seeing how they are transforming and using it for their own healing is just amazing. Like I don't even know where to start. There's just so many things on how, I'm sure for everybody, how Reiki can help everybody. But and it really makes me happy that in our world anyways, that we are kind of moving more into wellness and mind body and the connection, and we're doing more research, and people are really giving it a shot. And there's, you know, you hear the Reiki being done before surgeries in hospitals. Like it's just huge. And another big thing for me, I think, is just the way I word things now that I know kind of like the mind connection and the law of the universe and attraction, how to speak. So I'm really mindful now, where it's a little bit more of a habit, where instead of like, oh, you know, I hope this doesn't happen, or such and such, where it's kind of saying the opposite of that, where it's like, I don't want to be sick and well, but like I want to be healthy and strong and you know, just flowing with the universe, where it's like just calling in all the things that I want. I've seen such a dramatic change, instead of saying like, I hope this doesn't happen, or I hope that doesn't happen, because you're still kind of putting that message out into the universe. And once you kind of switch it around, I think for me, that's been the biggest, where you stay in that mindset. It's just so powerful.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it is. It's there is so many things that, and the connections that you can make between the energy centers in the body.
And I have to say,
yeah.
before you continue, that it's really important that you find a good Reiki master to help guide you through. So I think you have been a huge part, definitely for me in my learning. I mean, I've gone from level 1 to master level with you, but I think it also, I mean, I think you just kind of resonate and just end up where you end up. But I think it's really important to find someone that you can kind of link up to and can kind of help you on that journey. And I know for me, you've done that. So that's my word of advice, that if anyone's looking for Reiki, and just kind of see what vibes for you. I mean, I know I've done all the research, and there was nothing like LunaHolistic that resonated in that way. So
yeah,
I think that's important. That has to be said.
Thank you for the plug. I love it. No, that spools really beautifully into sort of,
I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I love enthusiasm. I love enthusiasm for sure. Yeah. And that's LunaHolistic is sort of a dream that I had, and I made it. You know, when I had some really beautiful Reiki teachers, and I learned a ton from them. And I found that at the end of the courses, because both courses were level 1 and 2 over a weekend, and level 3 and master over another weekend. And they were phenomenal and life-changing courses. But at the end of them, I didn't feel like I had enough time for practice or to sort of absorb everything. And so I sat down and I made the class that I wished I could have taken. And I combined all of the things that that I been learning from Louise Hay, and the power of intention, and the Abraham Hicks material, and just the law of attraction, and just sort of combined everything, and really spaced it out and spread it out so that we were focusing on the themes of each of the chakras in each of the weeks. And then so each level is done over 8 weeks, and each class in each level is focusing on one of the major chakras, from the root to the crown throughout the body. So the chakras are energy centers within the body that are connected to different areas of the body, but they're also connected to different areas of our life. And when you get this time or this approach to sort of really delve in each week and sort of space things out and slow things down, you get to examine not just the chakras, but all of the life areas they're connected to. And so these sort of themes of the week would emerge, and it's remarkable that, you know, people will come back every week and they'd share about what happened. And it was, if we were on the solar plexus chakra, then everybody had some solar plexus chakra stuff come up, positively, negatively. It just whatever is there to be healed would arise, and we would just work it through it all together. And bit by bit, you get to look at every single aspect of your life and bring that healing energy into it. And the power of having a community that you do this with. And you know, I think there's so much of our culture is like, now, fast, I want it, gimme. Like, if I can't get it in 30 seconds or less, then I don't want it at all, you know. And that is great with like consumer goods, but it's not really great in terms of personal change and growth. That anything that matters and is meaningful to us is just like planting a seed in your garden. It's like, you know, that there's a natural process of growth and expansion, and it takes time to learn things. You know, our brains and our brain development, you know, like, it takes time to learn anything, and to master it takes even longer. And but I find there's just like a beautiful thing of like, you slow down to speed up. That when you slow down and you get more time to sink into each lesson, you actually get more from it, and the changes are permanent. Because the other thing that happens is that by coming back every week and having these 8-week courses instead of a weekend course, is because you have that time, and you're building consistency. I don't know if you've had that experience of going on holiday and you have the best time and you have these life-changing epiphanies, and then you come back and you're like, like, you know, like, what happened to my vacation? Because you just come back to the same. And the reason, it's not that you didn't change on that trip, or you didn't change with that quick dip into this, amazing course. Of course you changed. You did. You experienced it. What you didn't do is you didn't have these tools or the consistency of your habits to support the change and to integrate it into your life. The way that, like Natalia was saying, is that you get this time to like integrate it and to take those lessons. We meet once a week for 3 hours, and you get this download of all of this information. I fill your pockets full of energy, and then you go into the week and you live some life, and you get some mud all over it, and you really get to apply it in the context of your life, how you're living day to day, and to incorporate a meditation and self-healing practice that will, bear up through the ups and downs of things. You can imagine that you think of like the last 8 weeks, like that's a lot of life that we've lived, and that's a lot of change that the world has seen. And to have a consistent practice throughout all of that is really been, I am so glad that I have done this, these courses, because it's taught me to be consistent in my own self-care and my own meditation and self-healing practice. And so when I go through bumps like this, or like it feels like kind of going over Niagara Falls in a bucket is really what it had felt like early on. And it kind of still does. I still feel like I'm in some emotional and energetic rapids as I'm, figuring out all of these things that are new and unfamiliar in every corner of my life. Like many of you are also coping with this in different ways. But by having that self-care practice and a community that I can reach out to and get sessions from and do trades with each other, that support has been absolutely invaluable. When I go through bumps, I triple up my, like times like this, I triple up my self-care, because if not more. So whatever I was doing before, I'm doing much, much more in terms of my self-care and my own spiritual practice, because I find that it's like the anchor that brings me to that steady, calm place. And when I'm there, I find the solutions to problems just pop in. Especially when the past is over and it's changed. There are things that have rapidly changed in our lives, and the future is uncertain. We just all don't know. And we never knew this. The future was always uncertain, but we got comfortable with certain levels of predictability in our lives, in our day-to-day experience. And that comfort, just because we're comfortable with it, didn't mean that the uncertainty wasn't still there and wasn't still active. So I find now that the uncertainty is so big and it's everywhere, my mind can't wrap its little it can't wrap my mind around it. My intellect is scrambling to find solutions to things that it doesn't have an answer for. And nobody has done any of these things. Everybody everywhere is doing things for the first time. It's all so brand new. And that can put us in a real like fight or flight situation. Just that, doing unfamiliar new things can make us get anxious, and sometimes we react to that anxiety with anger, and sometimes with worry, and sometimes with dismissal. And you can see that in people, that there's such a wide range of how people are coping to this disruption and uncertainty. as we are as well, you know. And yeah, and so I just find that this is a practice that can anchor me throughout all of that. When I drop into my spirit and my inner being through these tools, basically with Reiki and meditation, it taps me into a greater wisdom. I'm able to hear a greater, calmer message that always works out whenever I tap into my inner being and that divine guidance. It's whatever, if I just listen to that and I take action from that, it always works out for me. And it's so consistent that when I follow my heart, it works out. When I follow my head, it's 50-50, you know. And the more uncertainty there is ahead of me, the less and less our minds are good with when things are predictable, because the past, if you're in a predictable pattern, the past equals the future. You know, you're doing the same thing every day. It's pretty easy to like kind of forecast where you're going to land. If you're in a place of rapid growth and change and the future ahead of you is totally up in the air and uncertain, then the mind can no longer predict that pattern. And so it's like you can't go to that center to get your answers. You have to go in deeper. And for me, that Reiki has really boosted up my intuition and my intuitive skills so that I can basically have dialogues and channel books and talk to beings of light like Jesus and Master Yusui. And my upcoming book is actually channeling with Jesus, which I always think is interesting because I don't describe myself as a Christian, but here I am. I really have a strong connection with all loving beings of light, and Jesus is one of them. And so this upcoming book, which I'll be finishing up this summer, is just, it's beautiful. And I didn't start out there. I started out there not even thinking that I was intuitive at all. You know, that I just like, gee, that'd be really neat to talk to angels, you know, or I wish I was intuitive too. And I could just, you know, tune in and sense which way is the best way to go. When I first started Reiki, I was lost, like most people, you know, just sort of feeling like I was spinning in circles. Looking back, I realized I was more intuitive than I gave myself credit for, and that all that it was that my inner critic, the voice of my inner critic, was so loud that I couldn't hear the divine voice. And so by doing all of the self-healing work, which was rapidly sped up by Reiki, it turned the volume down on that inner critic voice so then I could hear the voice of the divine. And the more that I do Reiki, the more it turns down the volume of the inner critic and turns up that deep knowing and that information. So it it's a beautiful, beautiful process. And I love being able to assist other people with their journeys. It's such a huge, tremendous honor to get to teach people how to shine and be in their brilliance and in their light, in their heart. And I love being able to see the sparkle come back to people's eyes, you know, and it's like watching a flower bloom sometimes is what I experience. Is that life beats us up and we're closed and we get hardened by it, and Reiki opens people and it softens things and it lets their natural light and beauty shine, and their strength and their courage, and the amount of courage that people bring to their own healing is phenomenal. And, you know, in some ways, I'm just a catalyst. I'm just a wire. I just connect people up to their divine flow of light, and then I back away, and then they just go, they take it wherever they need to take it. And it's stunning what can happen for people, the amount of growth, the trauma that people can move through and heal, the, you know, relief from physical pain and discomfort. I haven't read the whole article, but there was an article recently in The Atlantic, which is a magazine, a news magazine. If you're not familiar with news magazines, not everybody is, I realized. But yeah, they had an article about Reiki, and apparently they're in the United States, they're using Reiki more in veterans hospitals for PTSD and veterans who couldn't sleep. They thought that their bodies had forgotten how to sleep. They were asleep on the Reiki table within 5 minutes. And which is just like, just heartbreakingly beautiful. I love stories like that. And it's experiences like that, there's a mystery to Reiki as well, that we're working within the mystery of the universe. And it's just so beautiful. And it, in a lot of ways, defies logic. It works beyond time and space. So distance, all I've been doing the last 3 months, we've been doing distance sessions and distance courses with people and transferring all of that great information that was in our cozy little center, just in these small groups, into an online space. And the online classes have been, the energy is the same because it's beyond time and space. It can act across very great distances just as easily as within a room, which is hard for us to wrap our heads around. But for me, that just speaks to a quantum mechanical process, that we're pulling from a universal field, like the universal field of energy that's beyond all matter. And then it arrives in other places. So I've done sessions all across the world, basically, and the results are the same as for people who come in and we have one-on-one sessions, or the regular touch sessions, which we're not quite there yet of being able to open up, but it's phenomenal, really. And it's something that really is like, once you experience it, you really know how amazing this can be, and how much it can shift things that have been resistant to being shifted by other, maybe more traditional means of therapy and wellness. But what I love about Reiki too is that it's so complementary with other modes of healing, including allopathic Western medicine, naturopathy, acupuncture, all kinds of other mind-body healings and wellness techniques. Reiki is a part of that wellness spectrum, and sort of fills in that spiritual wedge of the pie. Yeah, and it's just amazing. I can go on for days and days, and I often do. That's kind of my day job, is to go on about how great Reiki is. Shauna had a comment. It's resilience, I thought. I was resilient, but there's a difference between just handling things or thinking I can move past struggles. But Reiki makes you see the struggle as a lesson to grow and actually feel what is going on and learn more about yourself and your soul. Beautifully said. It really is. It's that. I often think about that as like, is this happening to me, or is this happening for me? You know, and that's such an empowering shift of perspective. You know, is what's happening right now, is that happening to me? So am I a passive victim here? Or is it happening for me? And when you start thinking like, how could this be working for me? You know, how could this, even though it's uncomfortable, even though there's struggle, even though there's pain and there's loss and there's suffering and there's real tragedies that are happening in people's lives, and maybe in your life, how can this be working for me? And what is the lesson? And how can I use this difficult opportunity, this difficult circumstance to grow, to heal? At the basis of all of it, even the most difficult experiences in the world, I think at the core, the gift is always compassion. There's that whatever we struggle with and overcome, we gain such compassion for other people who might be in similar struggles. And the world needs as much compassion as we can get right now. So, and that has also been such a beautiful thing as everything has unfolded, is just witnessing the compassion in other people, and really connecting into those stories. And I just cry when I hear people doing these beautiful things of connecting in all of these wonderful, beautiful, weird ways that people can bring their unique talents and gifts to the world. So yeah. Thank you everybody. Yeah, so wonderful. So I have another Lightworker energy activation meditation for us. And but before we do that, I'd love to hear if you have anything else to add in. Maybe Natalia, did you have anything you wanted to add about the beauty of Reiki and maybe what you've seen, or anything at all?
I feel like I kind of said so many, like it's just so hard to kind of like wrap it all up. Like I know I was enthusiastic earlier and just kind of said everything because it's just so hard not to. But I think also just like it's just so neat. Like it's just so neat to like feel, like to experience something that you can't see, like energetically, like even like in the session, like it's different for everybody, as most practitioners know, but and even for the client as well. But just to be able to like really like even like hear things or see things or like literally feel them, it's just so like you were saying, like it goes beyond time and space or any logic. Like it makes no sense, but then it makes all the sense. So I don't know, I just feel like it's just really amazing. Like it's just a powerful tool. Like I think like a gift from the universe, but kind of like an untold gift from the universe that you just kind of have to figure out and kind of get to, or open up for yourself and kind of see what fits and how it fits. But yeah, I think I'm kind of like thinking, what else did I maybe not mention? But it's just so powerful. Just kind of all the recharge and how you can like recharge your energy and fill yourself up, or even stop and reflect a little bit, kind of how you were saying, like, is this a me thing, or is this like someone else's energy I'm soaking up, or this is the problem, like for lack of a better word, and what do I do with it now? How do I expose what it's trying to tell me? Because it's all a lesson and learning, and even the negative, hard, really heavy stuff, it kind of all serves its purpose and teaches us something. So I think Reiki has a gentle way of teaching you those messages. Whereas I feel like if I didn't have Reiki, or if you didn't have the experience of Reiki to go along with it, I could see how sometimes things could just not look great, or the world doesn't look like a good place, or there's not so much good in the world, and then you kind of have Reiki that adds along to it, and you kind of see like, oh, or just opens up that community too. I feel like the people that I've met just from going on my own Reiki journey and learning it, and like my co-students, who, however you call them, just like the people that end up in your classes and groups and stuff with you. It's just so neat. I feel like there's always like maybe a little bit of a similarity bond in there, or something that kind of calls you to that, but just opens up the community. Like there's always somebody that is kind of, it's like willing to trade Reiki, or to kind of help boost you up, or remind you of the tools that you have, and how to use them and when to use them. So just really powerful that way. Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I love enthusiasm. I'm great. It's so great.
I feel like
think
Reiki, like you find throughout life, you find out things you're passionate about. And I knew right away, like I never would have known I would have gone down the Reiki road, but I knew right away it was something, because everybody that I talked about it to, the only thing they said back was, wow, you sound very passionate about it. You sound very passionate about it. Sounds like you really love it. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm in. I'm in it. And I'm here to stay. And I'm going to let the whole world know.
Yay.
About it.
That's awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Natalia. Bia, did you have anything to add before we hop in our meditation?
I think like most of my key points got covered there. I really agree with everything Natalia just went over. I guess like the one little aspect that's kind of been mentioned too is just that it kind of empowers self-creation and creating what we want of our lives. And I think what's really magical about that is that it kind of brings back that childhood beauty magic, but it also kind of expands beyond that, because it lets us be more unlimited than we ever knew we could be. So
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
it really is.
It's just great. Yeah.
It is. Is that, and it was funny in the meditation at the very beginning. I had this like very distinct memory of like I was probably in grade 2, grade 3 in gym class, and they had brought in a yoga teacher, and I was little enough that I didn't even know what yoga was or anything, and we had done a yoga class, and at the end in Shavasana, which I didn't know was called Shavasana because I didn't even know we were doing Reiki, or I'm doing yoga. She did a guided meditation, and where we would do this dolphin breathing through the top of our head in our crown, which is very similar, like moving energy basically through your crown, which is similar to Reiki. And it was like one of my first memories. And I just like got up to the teacher, and I was like, that was amazing. And then the next week is like, can we do that again? And she said no, because probably the yoga teacher had gone on to the next school. But that feeling was so unmistakable. I'm like, I want to do that, whatever that was. And I didn't know what it was called. Later on, I figured out it was yoga, which I also really, really love and adore as a healing, helping modality and spiritual growth modality. I realized that it's Reiki. It's that feeling of moving the energy in through the body and letting that light shine. And just like that beauty of that connection that we feel, so that we sometimes feel the freedom we feel in childhood, or that like playful creative side where we can be what we imagine. That's also such a powerful part. The manifesting part of Reiki is pretty palpable. Shauna said, I had the same feeling after my first distance session with you in level 1. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. It's like, what was that? That was great. More of that, please. Yes. we'll do more of this. Malti says it's very empowering hearing about Reiki and all the experiences. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do this beautiful little Lightworker energy activation meditation. It's basically a Reiki session in a meditation, but what it's like a self-healing is often what I feel like with it. So, but we can get into that, and you can just get settled, taking a few deep breaths, just relaxing. Gently closing your eyes, just letting any of that static charge be gently released by a sigh of relief. Just knowing that there's a strong guiding presence here with us all. Deep down in the core of everything, there's a steadiness and a flow. A deep inherent wisdom within the planet, gently guiding us and nourishing us, supporting us in any way imaginable. Just letting everything heavy melt into the tender arms of Mother Earth. She is prepared to receive it all. There is nothing too big. There's nothing too painful. There's nothing too overwhelming that she cannot help us with. Letting that strong and nourishing guidance flow. Feeling that ancient rhythm of energy. Knowing that rhythm within the earth. That slow and deep cycle of nature lives within you. You can feel it in your bones. You can feel it in your heart. You know this to be true. Take another deep sigh of relief, letting everything melt off of your shoulders, placing temporarily everything outside of your bubble, giving you the space and time to be within the stillness inside of you. Letting anything that isn't connected to your purpose in this lifetime go. Allowing your soul to decide what to keep and what to stay. Knowing that this is a process that happens deep inside of you. A knowingness in your heart. Allowing the mind and all of its thoughts to step into service of your heart and your soul. Your heart is in charge and it knows what to do. Your heart is in presence and full expansion of your spirit and your being in this moment. This beautiful and precious moment with all of its grace and gifts. It's yours. A beautiful violet light, a beautiful purple color is descending to touch your crown. The violet light descends from the infinite heavens to the top of your head, your crown. This violet light shines and radiates through your whole body, filling the top of your head, the crown, filling your forehead and your brain, your third eye, down through the throat, clear and flowing. Moving in through the heart, filling and expanding. Softening in through your shoulders, down the arms, and out the palms of your hands. Filling and concentrating the energy in your solar plexus, in your belly. Gathering all of your solar plexus energy, keeping it inside you. Bringing the energy down into the sacral, into your lower abdomen. Bringing the energy right into your root, the base of your spine. All the way down your legs, shining radiantly out the bottoms of your feet, and all the way to the center of the earth, completely connected and rooted. Take a few soft breaths into whatever you're feeling, knowing that all of your feelings are okay, giving them space to be felt fully. Breathing deeply into the sensations of it, noticing how they naturally shift and move. Very gently, one by one, being led into the light and grace of your soul. Begin taking soft breaths into your energy field, noticing what's there. Noticing with kindness and compassion. Allowing anything in your energy field that isn't yours to dissolve. Letting it go to the highest light, knowing there is an immense, kind, and loving presence within the universe, looking out for all of us. Surrender everything that is beyond your control to the light. Allowing your aura to be swept clean and clear by your guides and angels, your immense divine team. Feel this light extend through your aura, your electromagnetic field right around your body. Feel it clear and cleanse the energy right near your body with a beautiful and comforting red energy layer all around your body. Just beyond the red, a beautiful, vibrant orange all around your aura. Just beyond the orange, a beautiful, radiant yellow light and energy all around you. Just beyond the yellow, a brilliant and compassionate green all around you. Just beyond the green, a cool and soothing blue all around you. Just beyond the blue, a serene indigo all around you. Just beyond the indigo, a protective and comforting violet all around you. A beautiful purple color. Notice or feel or know the presence of loving divine beings, your team, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, ascended masters, or the universe itself. Whoever you think the best is, they are here with you. Know that this divine loving presence is maintaining your ground and maintaining your auric field no matter what is happening. No matter where you are, they're there and supporting you, making sure you're completely contained within your bubble of light. It is all held in place by the divine. Rest here a moment. And now you can gently bring yourself back to presence, gently wiggling your fingers and your toes, bringing your hands down your legs, letting the energy connect into the earth below you, and sweeping your hands through, over, around your aura, with your hands facing your body, just smoothing off that field around you and giving it a gentle pat. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Wonderful. that feels better. Thank you so very much. That just felt, this meditation is hands down one of the favorites, my favorites. It just feels like everything just settles right in with it. Everything feels very, very crystal clear for me. I feel very like happy and content and just sort of peaceful with everything. Even though there's still like challenges to overcome, I feel like it's fine. Like I can find a way. There's a way somehow through all of the challenges, and I just feel that resonance. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you what you experienced in that meditation. If you wanted to share, I'd love to. I'm always so curious of how every time I've done that meditation often. Every time the experience is different, just like with the Reiki sessions. Every experience is unique. But yeah, Bia, would you like to share? What did you experience in that meditation?
Yeah, I just felt really calm. I felt like so much energy just clearing out of my aura. I just feel really peaceful now. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you. I always feel like I could just drift in that little bubble for as long. I just could just stay there. Malti says, feeling very calm and relaxed, safe and contented. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Natalia, what did you experience in that meditation?
That was so lovely. That literally did feel like a Reiki session for me. I felt like I was present and like hearing your words, but it's like I was just like, it slowed everything down, and it was so still and it was so beautiful. Like it felt like I was just like sitting on a inflatable tube, just like on top of like water, and just like bouncing with the waves, and it was just so beautiful. And then I could see all the colors. Like I love that part of that meditation. And yeah, I felt like I could have stayed in that for ever as well. Like I just feel way more grounded, or just like just super calm, like so slow.
Yeah.
That was lovely. Thanks.
That's great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's yeah, that floating thing. I always feel like it's like, for me, it's that it's like the first moment of getting into a hot tub. I really love hot tubs. Of just like you sink in and just like whatever was bothering you before is just like it's gone because you're in this moment that's blissful. And it's just like this big sigh of relief. It's like, and now that I'm here, I don't want to ever get out. You know?
That's exactly how it felt like.
Yeah. I feel like I've created this career of, and my own spiritual path is like, how do I get in and don't let anything, that to me that's describes enlightenment, is that you get into that state and you learn a way to not let anything pull you out of it. And it doesn't matter if you do get pulled out, you just go back in one more time. But yeah, it's like, how can I like do my laundry in that feeling, or like deal with technical hurdles in that feeling? I'm not quite sure, but I've been working on it steadily for the last 15 years. So, Shauna says, I feel restful and recharged at the same time. My day has washed away and feel ready for bed and ready to face tomorrow. Oh, that's so lovely. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you got that shift. That's exactly why we do these things, is just to create that change, right? connects you. Yeah. And Judy says, thank you, Geneva, for everything tonight. Calming, so calming. I could feel the energy moving through my chakras. Things are definitely shifting for the good. Thank you again. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Judy, for joining. It's so great to see you all here tonight. Yeah, that's so lovely. I just feel so great. I feel like on a bubble or a cloud of just energy. That Lightworker energy activation meditation, I will be packaging up as its own meditation fairly shortly, and posting that on the LunaHolistic blog. So you can go to lunaholistic.com /blog, and a lot of the meditations that we do there's a grounding meditation, a bedtime meditation. There's a whole collection of them there that you can access, and I'll be looking at ways of getting those out once they're kind of polished up to some more music delivery services like Spotify and Apple iTunes and stuff. But that's a task far ahead, of challenges that Geneva has to figure out. So, but I'm doing this, and I can post them there. So please go there until they're in a little bit more of an easily shareable format. And yeah, we're just so happy to have you here. This is the end of season 1 of the podcast. We'll be resuming again in June. And so you can check out the lunaholistic.com website for any of the upcoming events, or to listen back to any of the past events. And so we'll be putting that out there as well. So but we'll just take a little bit of a break so we can catch up on all of the tasks. We will be hosting online level 1 Reiki courses this summer. So if you are interested in learning Reiki, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. We will be hosting online courses with the small in-person practicum, but the in-person practicum is not required for you to graduate from each of the levels. You can attend all of the class completely online, and which is very nice if you do live in a different city. As long as you have an internet connection, you can attend our Reiki classes, and it is all of the goodness that we have in person is all transferred online. And yeah, so you can check that out. Check the upcoming courses tab on the LunaHolistic website for any of the courses. They're not quite up yet, because we've been dealing with a few things, and technical glitches abound, but they will be cleared away. The pathway will be cleared, and that part will start being very easy for me in the near future. That's my intention. So please do check out that. We've got lots of information up there about the courses. We also have online services of Reiki sessions and distance Reiki sessions and intuitive readings by many of our staff. So you can check that out as well. You don't have to wait until the restrictions lift to get your Reiki session in. We can do a Reiki session very safely by distance wherever you happen to be in the world, and the results are absolutely phenomenal. So please do give that a try out, and really, experience is the best teacher. Well, we can and often do go on and on and on about how, and particularly me, of how much we love Reiki. Really the best way to know is to experience it for yourself. And so yeah, so we encourage you to give that a go and give that a try. And but yeah, we're so happy that you were able to join us on this adventure, and we do hope that we've sprinkled a little ray of sunshine through the sort of turbulence and upheaval, and do very much hope that things are settling out and are well for you in your area of the world. And just want to thank you all so very much. And we'll just end with our favorite big hug. And we'll just hug everybody. Thank you so very, very much for being here. And I just want to thank my helpers, Natalia and Bia, and all of the other helpers that have been on the line, Danielle and Ayla and Kyla and Kayla, and many, many other people. Thank you so very, very much for being here, for supporting LunaHolistic, for connecting with each other and supporting each other. The community is, and the community of all of us is just really, really, really important, especially right now. So thank you, and have a really, really wonderful rest of your day, and have a beautiful couple of weeks, and we will see you back very shortly and very soon. Thank you, everybody. Good night.